of Dipper.
Dipper is a technology platform that guides professionals of color to a better workplace, one review at a time.
Dipper is your safe space. It is the time for you to share your voice with a community that you are a part of. Visit us and join today at OurDipper.com.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good morning, afternoon. We've made it. It's another Thursday. And for those of you that didn't notice, it's still Women's History Month, right? Like we're still marching. So it's great that we are here to celebrate and enjoy women, and highlight some of the great things that are happening in our community. We are so honored that we have a guest this month, Womankind, who we have been able to celebrate with all month and learn a bit more about their organization and the great things that you're doing in this community. And so I'd love to introduce Sean Wan. Sean is the Associate Director of Special Programs at Womankind, providing services to survivors of gender-based violence across the lifespan. Oversees community outreach and education, anti-human trafficking programs, pathways to healing, pathways to empowerment, and a number of other programs. And has worked with gender-based violence, within gender-based violence since 2012, and has received a master's in public administration from the University of Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate having you this afternoon.
Thank you, Jacinta. Happy Women's History Month, and thank you for having me today.
Of course. It's honestly like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I think this is just, it's really been like the highlight of my week to dive in and just learn a bit more about your organization and the work that you are doing. I think it would be great if you could start off with just sharing a bit about how you got involved with Womankind.
So my journey with Womankind started in 2013 when I was looking for jobs before graduating from my school. I just completed my internship program at that time at a local domestic violence shelter in Athens, Georgia. So the internship offered me an opportunity to see a community-based approach in response to domestic violence, which was very different from how it was set up back in my home country, China. So I wanted to be part of that journey where I get to work with the community as opposed to for the community. So like many job hunters, I started browsing opportunities with that in mind. And I found Womankind, so I felt connected, and I moved to work at an agency by its mission where we get to leverage our Asian cultural heritage to work alongside survivors of gender-based violence. And I get to assist them to be in control of their own lives as they build a path towards healing. And very luckily, I got the job offer. I started my involvement with Womankind within the residential programs. And there, I witnessed the daily struggles of many of our clients, and I experienced the importance of building that authentic relationships and a network of resources for survivors and their loved ones. And I also got to work with a group of amazing colleagues who would roll up their sleeves in times of crisis and get things done. So I really feel very fortunate. And now almost a decade has passed, and I transitioned to different roles and responsibilities. But to this day, I'm still immensely grateful for the opportunity that's offered to me. And I continue learning daily and being inspired professionally, but also personally from our survivors, my colleagues, and the community. So, yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's like, although this is a job and the work you're doing, it's amazing to see that it's such powerful work. And I love the aspect that you mentioned about not just like serving the community, but being a part of it, which is great that like that community is in fact, I guess, your customer, but it's great that you are a part of that. And so I'm curious, what makes Womankind different from other organizations providing services to survivors of gender-based violence?
So first of all, I have to express my deepest gratitude to all social service organizations who are out there providing services to survivors of injustice, to survivors of violence, and survivors of trauma. The work is not easy at all. It takes a lot of determination, it takes collaboration, and it takes commitment. So I do want to appreciate all of the staff working in this field. But what makes Womankind unique to me is that I think that we don't act as a savior. We partner and we center survivors, and we walk side by side with them in each of their individual journeys towards their empowerment and towards transformation. So to us, every survivor's unique experience and their stories matter, and we are always prepared to make adjustments and to make changes to services throughout every process of their journey. And also with decades of serving Asian women and immigrants and a community of color, we gain that understanding of that intersectional nuances that can inform gender-based violence, right? We continue to reflect the systems of how systems of gender and how different identities such as like sexuality or race, religion, socioeconomic status like wealth, education, and then just immigration backgrounds, citizenship, and so on, that can impact each and every individual's lived experience. So we build programs with that understanding and to provide that multilingual, but also that culturally responsive services to meet the needs of those from all diverse backgrounds. And I think one of the unique things about us is also we believe that every individual is navigating that life with some sort of trauma, and it's because of that collective trauma. It's like the common thread that can build that authentic connections with one another and can unite us all together. So at Womankind, we developed a commitment statement on survivorship within the entire agency. And this statement serves as a reminder to us that survivorship exists amongst us all and it guides us all as we engage in this difficult work. It also serves as a reminder that we are open to learning and developing ways of growing our agency to enhance our understanding of the role of survivorships and explore different strategies that can support our clients, but also our staff and then the community. So I think that makes us different and makes us unique. And that's why I've been working with the agency for like 10 years.
I know you've had an amazing tenure there. It's great to see. And just kind of as you were talking, something that came to mind, and especially your work you do with programs, what are some things, I think, as there could be folks on here who are building programs for their workplace or who are building programs for their nonprofit, how are you considering the women that you are supporting and their input as you're building the programs? Like, just, I know that, feel free to take your time, but I'm curious, like, how's the community that you're serving and that you're a part of, how is their input being embedded into the programs that you're developing?
Right. I think that is a very important element. And then like in all of our programs and services, we incorporate survivors' voice. And how to do that is we either incorporate them to a focus group, like listening their feedback about the services being provided to them, how they evaluate, how they enjoy and experience the services offered to them, and we listen to that feedback. And then as we design the services and we design the programs, that feedback will be the core in our structure. And then also a lot of our programs have started with that survivor-led projects. So we actually, in one of our programs that works with elders, and so later in life programs, we had community ambassador projects. So we get to work with survivors who actually take the lead by reaching out to their fellow community members, their fellow friends. So I think that is very important by having survivors be at the at the front, and then sending and deliver the message about gender-based violence. We also think that doing this prevention work is very important to engage younger generation. And we reach out to college campuses, we reach out to institutions where we get to work with college-age students. And we wanted to hear their voice. So I think in all of those work we do, we wanted to be very intentional that there is always room that we can create, that there is always space we can create for survivors to be part of it, because their stories matter, and then their lived experience matters.
That's great. And it's awesome that you're letting the survivor step into a role of leadership as well, it sounds like. So they're not just participating in the program, but you're also offering opportunities for them to lead and come to. And I know you mentioned you've been with Womankind for over 10 years. I'm always curious, when folks have been at an organization for that long, how have you seen it evolve? And also, what evolution are you most excited about next? I think is something I'm curious about. I'm sure it's not the same as it was when you joined 10 years ago. So just how have you seen the organization evolve, and what are you kind of most excited about as it pertains to the future of the organization?
Right. I think we have evolved so much but we stay true with the mission. The agency has grown. We work originally, I think we work closely with Asian women, but we have grown so much. We work beyond. We work with everyone. We work with survivors of gender-based violence. So whether it's male survivors, whether it's female survivors, LGBTQ populations, we work with all and everyone. And I think one of the things we do is see gender-based violence from a very broad perspective. Domestic violence is part of gender-based violence. We also work with survivors of sexual violence and human trafficking. And then also gender-based violence also covers a lot of the structural violence issue that perpetrated on female survivors. So we do also conduct education, community education outreach around sexual reproductive health. We talk about forced marriage and so on. So the work we're doing has expanded throughout the years, but if we talk about the mission, we always stay true with that perspectives.
That's great. I think it's great whether it's a company or an organization, having that mission be your North Star and what you're always looking at. I know some folks I hear, if you're working from home, they're like, I have it posted on the wall, or you have it as the background of your screensaver on your computer, just a way to constantly be reminded of that mission in the work. And I'm so glad that you were able to share that with us. How can we support the mission of Womankind and kind of the future that you all are building, and that the women that you partner with are building too?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I think the mission of Womankind is not only a guiding principle for everything we do, but also a collective call to action. Because at the heart of our mission, I think, is that belief that everyone has the power to create change. I'm not sure why my video is blurry.
I noticed that too. It's
just
all
coming.
Of a sudden you got a little blurry. Oh, now you're muted. We can't hear you, Sean. Let me see. There you go. Okay, and now your picture's clear. Can you unmute? There you go. I think if you
Okay, now?
Yep. Yes, we can. We can hear you now.
Technical issues.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. But you were sharing about a collective mission and how we can all support. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all believe that everyone has a critical role to play in this movement. And then Womankind can definitely fulfill its mission alone. So it's on all of us to step up, to take a stance and make a commitment. So with that being said, there are multiple ways to support and get involved with us. But I think it has to come from your heart. Like I mentioned earlier, I felt connected by its mission. And if that's something that resonates with you, so I would ask you to join us as we walk towards change. It may sound repetitive, but people can always donate resources, financial resources. We need money that are flexible and can be truly accessible for survivors, because we serve vulnerable and underserved populations. Many of them don't have legal status and don't have experience or resources to navigate American systems. And if we genuinely care, and if we want to offer that support, there shouldn't be so many restrictions and expectations for survivors to prove how they can access or how they can utilize. So consider donating some financial resources can help us build a pool of flexible funds that we can provide directly to clients and help us run our programs more creatively. And also come out and volunteer with us. I think anyone can volunteer their time and skills, whether you can come to our residential houses to do gardening, or spending quality time with our clients, or teaching ESL classes or computer classes, or help with the childcare. Everything I think can help as long as you think that may help. And then I also encourage people to join one of our boards or become a champion for Womankind, which is our exclusive membership program. That can also help us raise awareness. And lastly, I think even if you don't have the means or time to contribute, or at the moment it's completely okay. I think as long as you help us spread our philosophy with others, help us uplift the stories of survivors, and help us shine a spotlight on people, on their stories, I think that is good enough. And then I just hope that we can take some time as communities to educate ourselves and then about the myth and stereotypes, right, and the gender norms, so that we can all grow and then within ourselves and then the community. And I think that any of us can do this, and any of us can be part of this mission and create a future that we dream of.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you for that. And we feel so honored to be able to collaborate with Womankind and partner with you this Women's History Month. And thank you. We definitely believe in your mission. It directly is sitting next to what we believe at Dipper, and just providing that safe space for underrepresented groups and empowering our community. And so if you are looking for a safe space to connect with others or to share your workplace experience, we ask that you go to OurDipper.com, share your review of anywhere you've worked, and this can help to guide a better and create a better workplace for us all. So thank you again, Sean, for your wonderful insights, and also letting me throw some questions we didn't plan for out there. It's just your feedback inspired me to ask more. So I appreciate you being open and just so authentic with the work that you are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacinta. It's really a great honor to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.